Hello friends, let's continue with our series. For the lecture number 5, we will be learning about big O, big omega and big theta notations. Alright, let's begin. So what are these notations? Many of you might be seeing these for the first time. So let's learn about what these notations basically are. The big O describes the worst case performance of an algorithm, right? The big O notation, which is one of the three notations of the data structures and algorithms, is used to describe the worst case performance of an algorithm, which means it describes what is the worst time complexity your program can have. What is the worst case scenario your program can have, your algorithm can have. This helps us find out how good or decent an algorithm is, because the faster it executes in the worst case scenario, the better the algorithm is, right? Then we have the big omega, which describes the best case performance of your algorithm. So the big omega is used to describe the best case performance of your algorithm, which means the fastest time that would be taken by your algorithm to complete its completion, or the completion of the algorithm that is used on the program, right? Then we have the big theta, which describes the average or tight bound performance, right? This is one of the most important notations. Why? Because it defines the average or tight bound performances, and you are mostly concerned about either the worst case performances or the average case performances, because that's where you will be hitting the most, right? That's where you will be spending most of your time, because the best case performance are not going to take a long time. So your main concern will be regarding the worst case performance and the average case performance. This is basically the average time taken by your algorithm to complete a specific task. These notations help you measure how running time or memory grows with input size. So they help you basically in order to decide about how running time or memory grows as you provide more and more input to your algorithm. Big O is the most commonly used because it shows the upper limit, right? It shows the worst case performance of your algorithm. For example, linear search has O of n in worst case and omega of 1 in best case. What does it mean? It means the algorithm linear search has O of n in the worst case scenario, which means it can take n number of elements to, let's just say, look for your data in a series of n number of elements. So you might be finding an element in your data set. Let's just say it is the last element present in your data set. If you iterate each of your element one by one, you will go 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, 4 time, and so on until you reach nth data, right? That is time consuming. It takes n passes or iterations to reach at the last data cell or data block, depending upon what your data structure is. However, the big theta notation is the best case. If the first element of your data set is the data set that you need itself, then it just takes just a constant time, right? It's just taking a constant time because The moment you begin the search, the first element is traversed, and the moment the first element is traversed, you have found your data. So that's how it takes omega of 1 in the best case. And now if you look at binary search, you have O of log n in worst case, which means the most time it's going to take to find a data in a data cell is log of n, and it takes omega 1 in best case, right? So basically, as you can see here, the binary search works better in the worst case scenario, so it is a better algorithm than linear search, right? And that is how you optimize your cases depending upon the different algorithms. The better the algorithms, the more we need it and the more we use it. So understanding these notations help you compare algorithms clearly, like we just did. So I hope you were able to understand the differences between the big O, big theta, big omega notations. Thank you for watching the video.